Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video. You join us for the AEW Dynamite Grand Slam anniversary special. So it'll probably be explained in the next episode as well, but I basically had to record Dynamite and Rampage before this show. I was going to say Collision there. So this was the third of the three shows. So basically this upcoming show of Dynamite in the next episode doesn't have anyone that's really on this show because I wanted a bit of continuity and I kind of wanted to keep everybody fresh for it. But I'm happy with what we've put as a card. Roughly 3 hour show, so a lot shorter than our usual pay-per-view event kind of thing. And we're running for 3 hours. I feel like because of the money we've got, we can just fire in a legendary band and a special set just to try and boost up the show rating. So I think we're about 9 or 10 matches. It's not too bad, as I say, for what I've been booking. It's a lot less. And yeah, I think we should just crack on. So remember your main event tonight, Eddie Kingston, Kazuchika Okada for the AEW World Championship. Let's do it. So it's 9,363 fans in the Alpharage Stadium. Because they do it at premium pricing, to keep it a wee bit realistic, that's why it is a lesser crowd. Maybe I might start putting the prices down just so we can start getting all these bumper attendances. But I thought straight off the bat, let's go with Will Ospreay and Rush. Because I did feel that the selling was going to be an issue, but it turns out the psychology was as well. But I feel if we keep giving Will matches, he's only going to get better, and eventually when he gets into those 80s, he'll be able to carry those matches. But anyway, it was superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, and Will Ospreay defeats Rush in 21:05 with a Stormbreaker. These two together brought an 89 level of wrestling and an 80 segment overall, so I think you probably could be looking at an 86 there, 93 for Ospreay, and an 84 for Rush. But it's just cool to put him in that situation, and maybe it might help with the pop of El Toro Blanco. They had a little video promo package here, and it was from the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. 6 years ago, something that we helped create, something that we helped make, made it to cable television. We take great pride in that. We gave our friends a chance to be on cable television and more of them a chance to make a living in this industry. But as time has went on, the standards have gotten better and better, and we know that we need to keep showcasing our talents to stay at the top. We have our critics, but hey, watch this tonight as alongside Mark Briscoe, we become the new AEW Trios champions, and to our good friend Adam, we'll see you out there. So obviously saying they've got a bit of beef with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, but they love Adam Cole. But they're saying tonight it's going to be them and Mark Briscoe winning the Trios Championships. 68 for the segment, Nicholas Jackson improvising well. And it was a decent matchup that saw the Undisputed Kingdom, Cole, Strong and O'Reilly defeat the Mark Briscoe and the Young Bucks in 17:48 when Roddy pinned Mark Briscoe with a sick kick. This was the second defence of the Trios Championship, still far too early to take the belts off for the Undisputed Kingdom. Wrestling was a 69, the segment was a 74, the storyline advances and gains heat. Probably one of the weaker matches for Matthew Jackson, actually a 6-6. I'm quite disappointed we got that with him. Kyle's still in the 60s, which is disappointing. Your main man here, Nicholas Jackson, working with our product at an 82. So who will it be then? Who is going to step up and be the partner for Priscilla Kelly, as it's going to be her taking on Athena and Billy Starks? We hear familiar music. It is Betrayal, which means it is going to be Chris Statlander who will be teaming up with Priscilla Kelly. That is a 78 rated segment. So to confirm what's went down, Saraya's contract was expiring, so it was a way to write her out. And I had an idea. Fire and might. The fire of Priscilla Kelly, the might of Chris Statlander. Let's hope we don't have poor chemistry, and that puts that idea down the pan. But 78, good stuff from Stat. And it was a decent matchup. Priscilla Kelly and Chris Statlander defeated Athena and Billy Starks in 13:22 when Statlander pinned Billy Starks with a 4-5-1. This was a steal the show matchup because they're good enough to do it. Priscilla Kelly was a weak link with a 56. The rest of them with great performances. You can see they're negative as Billy Starks getting a little bit stale. I still need to take Stokely away from Chris, but 68 for the wrestling and a 73 segment overall. So good stuff in our women's division. Next up, with a wild brawl that had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Hangman defeats Wardlow in 12:40 with the Deadeye. A 73 for the wrestling here and a 79 rated segment, probably one of Wardlow's best matches. Tricky to really get him doing much. But he was off his game, which only gave him a 57 performance. Hangman with that Wild Brawl is just always a win. 90 for Hangman. And the Backbone storyline advanced with the segment. Hangman then looks down the camera. MJF, another one of your goons, has met their match, and you're next. I want you at Wrestle Dream. So we've got a bit of time to try and put that together, because I don't want to make it just a regular match. And that was an 88 rated segment. On commentary, Excalibur was pretty weak. Next up, Darby Allin is in the ring. Of course, he's still not had an answer from Kenny Omega. He's pacing around the ring and he's starting to get frustrated. He's about to get on the mic when finally Kenny's music hits and he makes his way to the ring. Is this Mind Games by Kenny Omega? And that was an 88 rated segment for Kenny's entrance, so we should be okay in terms of the segments. It's all going to be about the matches. It is going to lead to something like way down the line, but you obviously have to put hints in every so often. These two had great wrestling, good heat. Kenny defeats Darby in 25-16 with the One-Winged Angel, giving Kenny the 14th defence of the AEW Continental Championship. So, all good across the board there. 84 wrestling, 81 for the segment. We don't really count the crowds, don't have crowd management on. Darby brings out a 78, and Kenny with a 91. I'm assuming they'd have lost some points as well for this being both baby faces and their physical condition. But that's fine, as I say. There's a few things where you have to set the matches and stuff happens down the line. Next up was the TBS Championship on the line. It was decent, and Tony Storm defeated Riho in 12:06 with a strong 0. I made this storytelling, I felt it was going to be the weakest matchup on the night. A second defence of the TBS Championship for Tony, 64 wrestling and a 66 segment, again probably let down by two baby faces. 61 and 67 performances is pretty okay. Moving forward to the triple threat match for the AEW International Championship. It was a wild brawl that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. It saw Walter defeat Brody King and Powerhouse Hobbs in 12:31 when Walter pinned Brody with the lariat. It's a ninth defence of the International Championship for Walter. He carries the match in terms of in-ring performance, but 80 for the wrestling and an 80 rated segment overall. It's something you're going to get that hopefully helps the development of just Brody King and Powerhouse Hobbs with both getting performances. And at the 70s, I would not be surprised if that's Powerhouse Hobbs' best match by a mile. But that's how you're going to get them to develop. Put them in these put these in these matches with these great workers, and hopefully go for there. We then have our co-main event for the AEW Women's World Championship. We have an over-the-top entrance from your CEO and the AEW Women's World Champion Mercedes Mone, which was a 77. This one did deliver. I thought it would. So it's about that had some great wrestling and good heat. I had Mercedes Mone defeat Becky Quin in 21:05 by submission with the bank statement, with a distraction from Sky Blue, and it gives Mercedes her third defence of the AEW Women's World title. These ladies brought an 80 level of wrestling and an 81 segment. They have great chemistry together that boosted their performances. Becky with an 80, Mercedes with a 79. This one is going to be really intriguing when we go back to the main screen to see how much of a boost it gives Mercedes in overness. I'm hoping she takes 4 or 5 easily pop from Becky, but it'll help Mercedes in the long run. So it's main event time already. Oh wow. So as always when it's big matches, I just do the over the top entrances. I have them walk the crowd. I just feel like people really buzzed for it. So you get an over the top entrance for the AEW World Champion Kazuchika Okada, and of course the home hero Eddie Kingston. So Eddie was a 98 out first. His angle idea was also a success. Okada was a 97. Excalibur was weak here, so it drops to a 95. I do have a feeling the matchup's not going to be so good. I just feel these two are not going to click, but everything else has been so good here. How will Eddie Kingston, Kazuchika Okada do? A 77. I had a feeling that was going to be the case. So it was about to have some good heat and decent wrestling. Okada defeats Eddie in 22-14 with the Rainmaker, giving him his third defence of the world title. It was just a kind of quick defence for Okada. 69 for the wrestling, 73 for the crowd, and a 77 segment overall. We can see that they didn't click in that shoulder performances, so that's a shame. I did have a feeling that these two skill sets wouldn't really match, but I still wanted to do it. With Eddie, it seems like I can always get good promos out of him, but I just don't seem to be able to get the best stuff out of him in ring. There might be something I've got an idea of down the line, but it could be a while till we get to that. But his great finish probably helped it a little bit. But yeah, it dropped Okada at 75 and Eddie at 62, so that's a shame. I think we might draw maybe about an 80 for this one. 84, so we've been saved there by the two bonuses, so that's why you put them in. But increase their popularity in 35 regions. I'm assuming that'll be in all the countries that aren't within the US and Canada, maybe the UK either. But yeah, I'm happy with it. As I say, for a celebration of effectively 6 years of AEW, you just combined it all into one. Although technically it would be the show next week that would be the anniversary special, because I think it was the 2nd of October was the first ever Dynamite. But it just gives me 2 weeks. It's roughly that to Dynasty, so I need to try and put a card together for that one and get stories over. It's been quite tricky because everything's so close together and they're trying to extend stuff and it's a big roster. But I'm hoping after that it's a big gap between Wrestle Dream and Full Gear, and hopefully we can make the best out of that. So, address the locker room. Nah. Injury review. Jay Lethal got an injury on Rampage, so he will be out for 30 days with an orbital fracture. Financially, we made a profit of 64 million. We just make mental money now. It's just not even worth bothering with that. Popularity, so you can see that the only place in the US was Hawaii. Everywhere else was across the world, so that's good. I'm quite happy that's the level we're at. I don't feel we'd have to put crazy shows to get any higher. And because it's an event, we get a media scrum. Kenny Omega didn't appear on AEW Dynamite and has been public about his disappointment. How are you going to handle this? Just to give him a little break. Mason Madden is coming at the end of his deal. Will he still be in AEW? I'm not actually too sure. He might be something I put to ROH because I don't really have anything for MXM collection. I'll put it depends on his wage demands. Further, Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker don't really like each other. Are you worried about the effects in the locker room? As long as they keep it professional, I don't intend to get involved. Zach Gibson is extremely happy with life in AEW. Well, that's interesting because he's not really done much, but I'm glad he's having a good time in AEW. Same for Quinn, just answered the exact same. And Preston Vance, okay. I wouldn't say it's people I've been particularly pushing. They've been getting matches on the B shows, but a lot of the time with the B shows, I actually just use that to kind of keep workers like active. And at the same time, I just feel if you put certain people meshing up different skills, then it's a chance to improve certain skill sets. So 9,363 fans were in attendance and the show was awesome. I won't give any spoilers away, but Dynamite was, people enjoyed it, and Rampage it didn't seem to down particularly well, so there you go. You've got that to look forward to in the next episode. Bushi re-signs with New Japan. Lee Ying Lee is going to be re-signing with TNA. We will extend Big Bill on a 1 year deal. I decided to go with it, but probably more as an enhancement. We just get a few things there. Buy rate, nobody buys it because we're also on the AEW network, which gives us 28 million viewers. Well, Dynamite's the exact same. Pay-per-view overuse. Well, we don't have a we have a pay-per-view, shortly. And then after that, we're fine. And Okada says that Riho is turning into a good worker. So, Paul White will believe in tomorrow. Saraya will believe in tomorrow. I'm starting to try and just get people that I don't really think I'm going to be using off the books effectively, just to make it a bit easier for me. So it's 17 days, for Wrestle Dream. So it's not too bad. That being the 12th of October, and as I say, it's a good break to the end of November nearly for Full Gear, and then it gives me a month to do World's End. Wrestle Dynasty, I think we'll just see how many loans we can get from CMLL and New Japan, and we'll work it there. I'll go with the Monday this year, just purely because in the Sunday I couldn't get half in New Japan the last time. Although by then AEW's probably signed most of them, but yeah, that's going to be it. So thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you for the next episode with the Dynamite that's technically already been, and the Collision that I'll be booking in 2 days' time. So thanks for watching. Check out the Fancy Bookers subreddit, Great Software Forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net, and yeah, see you later. Bye bye.